Today's matchup. Bunny. Reynor. Dream. DRG. Round of 20. Group B. 2022 Hot 6 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everybody. 2 players remaining, neither of them Italian. Reynor is out.
Yeah.
I'm sad about it too. It's a bummer, but I'll tell you what, man. Bunny and DRG played very well. That's undeniable.
Absolutely. Bunny showed some really good play there at match number 1. I mean, the CC first builds for these Terrans have been pretty incredible so far in Group B, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And going back a little bit to talk about those Reynor games, like it just kind of shows that GSL is a little bit of a different beast from these weekend tournaments. Like the amount of prep that goes into the best of 3 series here in GSL, it's almost unrivaled in StarCraft 2, you know? Like we don't really have any kind of format where these players get to devise these strategies and really map things out over the course of an entire day.
I think, you know, the Star League format, you know, it started with OSL and MSL, you know, and there's been others besides GSL. We've had KSL and, you know, other Pro League and stuff like that. But these long form tournaments, they do allow people to really put in the prep. And, you know, I think it's why this has been consistently a very Korean-dominated thing. Is that, you know, you saw a lot of thought went into all the builds here today, and look, I hope Reynor comes back. You know, GSL Season 1 2023 or Super Tournament, but yeah, he did not have it today, and we know that he wasn't able to get out of either of the 2 best of 3s. He didn't even make it to his possible 3rd best of 3. DRG standing in his place. And so we're going to have another TVZ here to close this out. We're going to start on the map Data C between these 2.
Data CC.
They're going to see if it's going to be Data CC this time around, because we've had a lot of CC first in this matchup.
Good Game Gaming. Dream. Team NV. DRG.
Okay, here we go. You guys didn't see it.
Yeah.
The minerals went to like 160. We were like, up.
Got a little bit excited there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dream not going to go CC first in this one. Although it still is undefeated here in Group B, man. I think no matter what, I would be surprised if we didn't see it in 1 game in this series. I got to say. Like, it seems like so powerful, these 2 base pushes, especially if you play on a map that is potentially Zerg favored. If you want to go for like this kind of 2 base push of a CC first, you just have so much stuff. It's almost unintuitive watching it because it feels like Zergs, like, they'll come in and they will clear all the like key units in a fight. And you'd think like, oh wow, the momentum has shifted, and then suddenly like 20 more Marines come out with 2 Liberators and another Siege Tank, and it's like, oh wait,
yeah,
we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle to solve this one now.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised at all if we have another CC first build here, but I think Dream is, you know, being very cognizant of how all the TVZs went so far and being like, well, I better at least show you that I'm capable of other things.
Yeah, DRG of all players, I think, is the kind of guy that might go cheese and try and stop that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
He has that killer instinct. Like we saw it in the previous best of 3. He had a 12 pull and
no, he was absolutely ready to pull the trigger if need be.
Love to see that in players, especially in a tournament like GSL where you get to really like prep that out and kind of.
Well, this is what's always been, I think, for me. Look, I got into, well, I tried to get into this job and then got this job finally. By being inspired by growing up watching Star Leagues, by watching, you know, it was initially OSL, which was like, you know, it was basically the same format as GSL, some differences, but effectively it was a long form tournament, kind of like a drama almost, where you watch every week or a couple days a week these players prep, and you follow the brackets, and you can look at possible matchups that could occur and the histories of the players and how they played, and you know, if they're meeting again and maybe one guy has never beaten the other guy, and what happened in those games. And it's fun because there's so much history and so much story behind it. And yeah, it seems like the very best of the best in GSL are the guys that really can prep. I mean, that's how Hero came out and won this last season. And you know, it's different from a tournament where you've got, you know, 4 days or 3 days or 2 days to go through the whole thing. Yeah, then it's like you get to see who's the biggest beast at the time, and also who's got the most stamina, who can just play StarCraft all day at the highest level and eventually come out on top of a heap of dead bodies. But GSL and that whole Star League format, it's very different. You get to play a certain amount of games with a certain set of parameters. You know, there's the maps, there's the set of opponents in your group. And then when you graduate to that, everybody leaves and they go back and they prep for the next part. And I think it's why the games we get are so exciting. But I think it's also why we haven't had, you know, players that haven't been in many GSLs. They don't, I think, thrive in these formats either.
It definitely takes some adjustments, and that's why, as you said, I hope that we see Reynor come in a potentially maybe a super tournament or the next season of GSL, because that could be. He hasn't shown all that he's got.
We're always happy to take him, for sure.
So in this game, Dream's going for 3CC. Really quick as well, I might add. And kind of relying on the Hellion Reaper to keep map control. DRG with a healthy Queen count is going to be trying to get his creep spread going as quickly as possible. But with the way that we've seen games go so far today, when Terrans win, it's usually these really strong pushes through the middle, especially on maps like Data C. The 12 o'clock, excuse me, the 6 o'clock base here for DRG, the fourth he chooses to take it, has a lot of very dangerous positions that the Terran can siege up in that are hard to break out of, you know? Like, they really get entrenched in there. And playing 3CC really quick like this as Dream can kind of have the same effect as going CC first, where, yeah, your push is going to hit slightly later. You will have to be a little bit more slow, but once you finally get going, the unit production and the parade push is just unbelievable. So we'll see if the game decides to go that way. We haven't seen too much out of Dream besides these CC first builds so far today. But it's always exciting when, like, you have these little tiny meta shifts in matchups, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, it's everybody reacting to each other and trying to keep up. Now, this push is going to be a pretty serious one. He's going to have 1-1 coming here. So it's going to be a very strong, and by the way, very textbook 3-base push. I don't think that Dream has done really anything extraordinary here. By the way, not that you have to.
Ling's getting into the natural. We'll be able to find a couple of SCVs at least, if I'm not mistaken. That's a mule going down, choosing that instead. But getting a good scout off. He sees all these units back at home, has a good idea on the production levels coming out of Dream. Didn't quite get into the main base, but anytime you can run up that ramp and pick off a mule, get some good intel on where your opponent's at in terms of upgrades, in terms of unit count, it's always nice.
Well, he kept those Hellions alive. He should repair those before he goes back out. I don't know that he is.
Surprised he hasn't.
That's actually going to bother me for the rest of this game.
He's keeping the damaged ones back, so it's certainly on his mind.
Repair them, State. It's not enough. They're not Zerg units. They don't heal.
Imagine if they did.
No,
I don't want to live in that
world. Then it would be
world.
a Reaper. But okay, so he's going to come out again and try to apply a little bit more pressure. Now, DRG has been aggressively, you know, paving the map with creep here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of creep spread going quite early. These Hellions and Marines haven't really been able to slow that down too much as DRG continues with this large, massive Queens to just kind of build up. And behind that, he was able to get a couple more SCVs there at the third base of Dream, but no real economic damage so far. Is now finally Dream here with Stim. Gonna try and slow down this creep spread just a little bit because, man, it's really starting to reach the middle of the map, and that is not a position you want it to be in if you're setting up for one of these slow siege tank pushes. And just to point out, DRG, perhaps mindful of how dangerous that 6 o'clock base is to defend against these siege pushes, is opted to take the one all the way on the left side. I don't think we have seen Zerg take that base yet as their 5th in this tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at the Hellbats parked back here. Just to try to cover this from Banes. Looks like Dream's going to come through again, try to stim and gun down as much as he can. Good targeting on the Banes.
Gets Banes, gets a Queen. some really favorable trades right now. DRG coming with a big run by here.
What is he
I'm not sure why he didn't go on the SCVs right away.
I don't get why he didn't do that.
He will still get 7, and he got a siege tank, so not bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It was just kind of a weird moment where he like hemmed and hawed.
Yeah.
Well, there's like so many targets that he could get. I'm a little bit worried for Dream right now. You know, I think not only can he probably not push that effectively, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he can, but also that I think DRG might be able to counterattack soon here.
Yeah, the counterattacks have been really good for DRG so far in this game. I want to say he's picked off maybe 15 SCVs, and that number continues to count. Banelings and Lings coming down will continue to reset the tank count here for Dream as a lot of bio goes down as well, and DRG, he's trading quite cost efficiently, and with a 5th base secured, he's kind of sitting pretty. He's already going up to Hive. He's getting his 2-2. He'll be keeping up in upgrades here with Dream, and it looks like he's in control of this game right now.
So the Lings are going to come up here, get another SCV and run at. I love that from DRG. He's fired up, man, from that Reynor win.
He's got to be feeling good.
He's playing very well.
He's past 2 series.
Yeah, 2-2 is on the way now. Well, you know, Zerg got to where they need to be. They're on 5 bases. New bases in this matchup get easy when the Zerg gets the 5th base, assuming that they get the resources soaked up from that.
On almost all maps, that's the case, yeah.
Yeah, when they get to 5 bases, they're fine.
Creating some Banelings for depots there. The DRG continues to keep up the pressure, actually really showing the advantage of having even upgrades right here as he's able to trade out with some Marines, and once again going for the CC.
Now, I don't know what can defend up here, but if he has enough and he can actually force a cancel, okay, he can anyways, but if he had forced a cancel on that and Terran was on 3 bases, that would have been bad,
crazy.
dude. That would have been like, you know, what now? And then, you know, it's finished, so even if like the pressure gets too hot, he could just lift and move it, but we want to watch for that.
He may have not gotten the cancel, but again, like picking off tanks like that, it looks like the way this game is going right now with DRG getting up to Hive, getting his adrenal glands, getting Vipers, it feels like he might just start trying to overpower Dream in terms of economy, because eventually you're going to be taking all these trades as Zerg, potentially going up to maybe 90, 100 drones. And even if the trades aren't cost efficient, eventually the Terran will run out of money, right?
Yeah.
So we might be seeing that out of DRG, and if that is the case, then for Dream, he's going to want Liberators, he's going to want Siege Tanks, and eventually Ghosts, and just kind of try to camp back at home to reach an endgame composition that can deal with this army that DRG is getting.
You know what, though?
But
I don't know if Terran's playing catch-up enough right now. The 6th base is being taken to the top left. The creep is already reaching underneath the Terran's main, are almost there. And I mean, 4 bases you can hang on, but like, okay, he's getting the 7th base in the bottom right. And you know, this map is going to become quicksand pretty quickly here for the Terran. I mean, he's just going to start to sink into it. And you know, you could try to turtle, you can try to camp it out with Ghosts and tanks, and maybe he'll pull that off. But I want to point out, he's not in a spot where that's, you know, he's safe to do that yet. He's not even maxed yet.
no, he's not even maxed. It's going to be tough for him to defend, but positions like this,
oh, well,
that's a planetary morphing. So he is, if I'm not mistaken, so he is really gunning to try and defend these 4 bases, and eventually, once he reaches max, try and take a 5th base. But
okay,
we'll see.
Here we go.
DRG,
blinding
clouds. Look at this choke point.
Through there, oh god!
At the same time, the Ling run by coming to the other base, the
this is what I
planetary
was
is going to
talking
go down.
about. The Zerg actually is doing so well that you can throw everything you have at positions, and then look, he's already almost maxed out again. He has almost there. GG. All right, fatality.
Yeah, Dream trying to find a way to kind of camp back at home and hold off on DRG, but DRG with just way too much tempo, as you said. His economy was overpowering right there. Able to bring down some clutch blinding clouds to just close that one out.
Yeah, man. I mean, DRG is playing very well. I feel like we're seeing some of the best plays from him in the last couple seasons. And I mean, he's always been good, right? In DRG, he hasn't been championship level in a while, but he's always like clearly solid at the game, can take games off anybody, but he really wrecked Dream back there. And you know what? Dream played like the textbook TVZ. That build Dream did, guys, that's a good build to copy on the ladder.
It really is.
You know, it's very straightforward. If your mechanics are good and clean and you can keep it, you know, one eye on the mini map all the time, you're going to be getting a Masters level. Going on to Inside and Out, I wonder, are we going to have that CC first? Is that too obvious? And if not, then what? Because right now, DRG looking powerful, looking scary if Terran can't get a lead early on.
Let's go into
Start the
it,
game,
man.
I can't talk.
Inside and Out, match number 2.
It's funny because it's not Inside Out, it's like Inside and Out. What is it with people naming StarCraft maps?
Oh, boy.
I can do it all day. Oh,
So this is funny because Dream is going for a proxy racks and DRG is doing the fastest drone scout. He's actually going to catch this SCV moving in the middle.
It's so funny
And
that
this
Dream forgot to laugh.
This is problematic here for Dream, to say the least.
He should just make the barracks in his man.
I was going to say, oh, okay, spawning pool now going down to DRG. I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if he made the barracks in the main, or if he's just like, oh, screw this, I'm going to throw down a CC.
He throws a CC down. He throws it down where the barracks is supposed to be, though. It's literally the worst build in the whole world.
Yeah, DRG with a clutch scout there, man.
Yeah,
He's got some
good
star
call.
senses.
Yeah, he's like, He's like, why is the hair on the back of my neck standing up? And he just sends a drone out.
Well, you kind of got to think that coming into a match like this, especially the way that map number 1 went, with DRG kind of outclassing him and just keeping up the tempo in a way that we haven't seen Zergs do so far today, that Dream is going to go either to one end of the extremes. You know, it's going to be a CC forced, or it's going to be something like a proxy 2-Rax. That's kind of where I would put my money if I was going to be saying, like, what I think Dream is going to come up with here in this map. So DRG, Drone Scout, covers both of those.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just going to be a 1-Rax expand here for Dream, and DRG quite content with a nice little tempo lead again here in map number 2. I mean, this is problematic for Dream because it's a lot of lost mining time for those 2 SCVs, and whenever you have your kind of opening strategies get completely off the tracks, it feels bad.
Yeah. But, you know, that was a call by DRG that was, dude, it was so important, right? Because he says, no, you know what? If we, like, play normally, I just kill you. And keep in mind, the drone scouted the proxy, but it was also looking for a command center first. And this is Terrans paying the iron price right now for their greed early on.
Yeah, they reap those rewards early on and getting punished for it now. This DRG is going to be happy to play with probably a little bit more drones than usual, because all of the timings here for Dream are just going to be a little bit behind where they would normally be. And this is in stark contrast to kind of the advantage that we had Terran playing with in the first 2 series today, where they kind of got to go with a CC first unpunished 4 games out of 5. And then all of the timings, they were a little bit later, but they had a lot more units. And then Dream now, his timings are later, but also he's probably going to have less units the way this is going. And feels like DRG is really kind of showing up strong here in the last couple of series today.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so, you know, what does Dream do now? Is there anything fancy he can try to pull off? We don't see anything yet, but again, he's getting all the core tech buildings set up, so maybe he can show us something.
And going for a 3rd CC is Dream. So that will be the angle that he chooses to try and come back in this one. And it's pretty quick, too. It's actually, if I'm not mistaken, faster than the 3rd hatchery here for DRG. So Dream will be able to have a little bit of an economic lead there with the mules for at least a moment before the drones get going.
Yeah, this is Innovation's build you know, from the past that he would do so many times, where it's just a powering build.
The machine.
And Zergs can just, you know, they can try to punish this with some attacks of their own, but, you know, if you see Terran and they're just, like, powering, they're getting his 3rd CC, usually that's your cue to get an even quicker 4th, you know, and drone up even harder.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the harder things in the game, especially for people to learn, is, like, how to power on both sides. I think teaching somebody to attack and just, like, keep up with, like, making all the units they need, that's, like, one thing.
Hylian almost gets caught there, kind of funny pathing on that 3rd base, and that was an Overlord going down to the main. So he did spot the CC, as our observer Shine is pointing out for us, and I guess there's a couple of different pathways you can go here as DRG, but yeah, he's going to be powering up, immediately throws down 2 evolution chambers. He knows that he has time before any push is going to be coming out. And oftentimes, when we get to these kind of situations, Zergs, if they choose to do so, can opt for a tech here. We could be seeing Hydras into Lurkers because they will have a lot more time to build up that drone count and kind of build safely back at home. Because like this composition that Deep Dream has, these Hellions, the Vikings, the Reaper, yeah, he will be able to slow down the creep spread just a little bit and cause some problems here for DRG, but this is never going to kind of coalesce into a killing move. The push coming from Dream is still a couple minutes in the pipeline. He's got a lot of powering to do. So DRG kind of has a full palette of options to choose from here.
Yeah, and the upgrades were important because he timed that out before the E-base finished.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. It's rare that we see Zergs ahead with upgrade timings on Terran.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because when you pointed out the double Evo chamber, I thought, man, doesn't that seem a little early? Like, there's no fourth base. But now I totally get it because, like, he literally will never be threatened by the upgrades of the Terran as long as he's just keeping up with it.
Creep spread continuing to grow here in the mid for DRG. Clearing rocks as well. That fourth base is going up, and DRG sitting happily on 62 drones right now. And man, he's playing quite conservatively as well. I was expecting a couple more drones to be coming out from him, but he's really powering up on the lings, even continuing that 32 now in production. It makes me think he might go for a big run by there on the third. If he's able to catch these Hellions with some kind of surround, that could be crazy.
I mean, this is kind of wild, man.
He's still making lings.
We're going to be ending this with some fireworks here.
DRG really respecting the pushing power here out of Dream.
Yeah.
Playing quite conservatively here. He does not want to overdrone too badly. Earlier today, I believe we saw him go up to, I think, 69 drones and kind of struggle to defend a hefty mid-game push because of it, but now sitting comfortably on 63 and just continuing to power these lings. Looks like Baneling speed will be done too before any big engagements happen as well. So DRG is really sitting pretty right now. I love this powering play by him. Just nice and safe, very conservative. He's kind of covered on all angles.
Again, you know, a slow start here, but it's going to be crazy when these guys start actually taking swings at each other. No fifth base yet. Here comes those Marines trying to clean out that creep. I'm starting to get Elmer Fudd voice here, like queen out to queep. But again, Reynor's done a really good job. Sorry, not Reynor. What am I talking about? DRG's done a very good job of basically planting tumors and covering this back up. Bottom right base is being taken here, so there's going to be the fifth.
Look at these transfuses.
Yeah, chain transfuses there. Can he get the better back?
Barely going to get away. Only one queen going down, but a lot of energy spent there by DRG. Normally, I would say that is the kind of thing that, as a Terran player, you're going to be happy with, because those queens having less energy means later pushes, you know, we often see queens taking like tank shots or marine fire for an extended period of time because there's so much transfuse energy.
Right.
But I don't really know if Dream's actually going to be able to capitalize on that in this game because of how safe that DRG's been playing. I mean, his army count is ahead of Dream, which is not, again, something we don't see very often here in CBTs. He just keeps anticipating this push coming.
Yeah.
And he's gearing up to defend it. You see he's been clearing rocks nonstop over the course of this game.
I thought those Banes were going to blow up on the rocks for a second. I'm like, man, that is confidence right there.
DRG has the potential to absolutely stomp this army if he gets a good engagement.
I think so. We've got vehicle weapons coming here as well. No sixth base yet. Keep in mind that this map, there's actually much less bases in general. So, you know, it's actually a little bit harder for Zerg to ever get out of hand because they just don't have enough of the map to gobble up.
Yeah, Inside and Out is a little bit of an interesting map because it's very long, like vertical-wise, it's quite a tall map. So in a way, because of that, it's kind of tough for Terran to push in the mid-game unless they're able to really get a foothold in these like critical siege take positions, right?
Yeah.
But then once you go into the late game, you see if DRG decides to take any more bases, they are at the doorstep of the Terran player. So once we go later, if the game decides to go that way, it could begin to swing back into Dream's favor because those bases are like impossible for DRG to take. This is pretty much the cap right now, but actually coming in for a huge attack here is DRG. Baneling's getting spent a little bit inefficiently here in the Planetary Fortress, not taking it out. Nice blitz there for Dream, and that was really a bungled attack.
Yeah, there was something subtle I want to point out back there. He had his Banes on the right part of the Planetary wrapping around the CC, to hit all the SCVs and then hit the side of the planetary at the same time.
Yeah.
And they got there, and then they actually rolled back down around the bottom and A moved into stuff on the left side. Not that that's the end of the world, but he definitely miscontrolled that, is really what I'm getting at.
It feels like that could have gone way, way better for DRG.
I think so, yeah. Oh no, now he's going to get some more Bane sniped here. Meanwhile, a big counterattack down here in the center left. Drones and a hatchery surely going to go down.
Yeah, man, I'm really feeling the pendulum swing back in the other way right now after that attack. Almost an unforced error there by DRG as well, as he really didn't need to push into that position. I would have been much more happy to see him try and build up a bank and just kind of starve the Terran out and deny a 5th base, but I guess he felt like he needed to keep up the pressure, and man, it's really come back to bite him. Dream is maxed now on 4 bases, and like, look at the mineral income for DRG. He's still a ways away. Like, he will have Vipers for Binding Cloud. He will have Adrenal Glands for his Ling. So those are good things that he has going for him, but this is looking scary.
Yeah, I mean, the question now is like, how does DRG actually like, oh, that's pretty big. He picked those up, but yeah, how does DRG try to play this out? Terran is basically sealing off parts of the map, and then very, very patiently attacking out when it's an appropriate time. And he's about to take like the whole upper triangle here and carve that out.
Yeah.
And like the only place it's going to be not Terran's occupancy is going to be the top left, which he can just take later.
That's probably going to be the safest base for him to take as well.
And Zerg can't expand there, in theory. Zerg cannot like have a base there and mine that out, and we have a long game.
All right.
So DRG has to win with these fights up here.
That's a nice engagement to start things out. Blinding Cloud's on the tanks, and he's able to clean them up. A little bit of an overextension there with the Ling, but I feel like DRG can be happy taking out those critical units. For a moment, Dream was up, I think, above 12 siege tanks.
Yeah.
Right there on the units tab. So bringing that count down to 8 is very significant, especially if DRG's going to be able to break this, because I feel like he cannot allow Dream to go up. Oh, that's actually
that's
a full
so
wall.
funny.
I had no idea.
You can just plug that up with the CC. That's so funny.
Look at this. I think Dream is planning on playing the late game right now.
Yeah, he's going to turtle it out.
5 bases, 8 siege tanks. He's actually building tanks 2 at a time right now. He knows that DRG is kind of capped on the amount of bases he can take. And at this point, if he just continues to defend, eventually his army composition is going to get better and better. DRG, I feel like, is almost on the clock, because if this game continues to go over late...
Literally, he is. He's actually going to take that base at the top left, by the way. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the nature of the game has always been that Zerg expand faster than Terran or Protoss. But the game, you know, does appear to be balanced regardless of that, right? All the way back into StarCraft 1, like before Brood War, Zerg always had like a few more bases, but it was kind of an interesting way that the different races operated. But what Terrans in StarCraft 2 have basically figured out is like, okay, well then let them expand more. I'll still take half the map. And so Zerg mines out before I do, and then I scoop up the last base. They have to kill me now, and I win.
Yeah, especially because of how inefficient the trades usually are for Zerg, because they have that superior economy. They're mining their maps so much faster than the Terran.
And they got to throw Banelings into you. I mean, they have to destroy their units to win. They have to throw Lings into you. Lings are not units that you expect to come out of a fight very often.
Blue Flame even coming in right now.
Yeah.
And the way that DRG has been playing this extremely heavy Ling style, I mean, of course, now he is transitioning into Lurker, so that will be good for him. Blue Flame Hellions, it's usually either those or Widow Mines, or a combination of both.
Yeah.
As your secondary splash damage to deal with the Ling Bane Floods. And yeah, like, this base is so difficult to take. You can't fault DRG for trying to take it, because any minerals or gas he mines there is eventually going to be resources that Dream isn't able to harvest.
Yeah, he's basically taking money from Dream by doing that. Now he does, that DRG, you can see that there was a lot of pressure here. He's actually dived onto that command center, and he's just going to take out anything that he can find over there. He will probably set up for another attack again. Note that the minerals and gas have plummeted down as he spent pretty much everything. He wants to hit this position on screen one more time and try to knock it clear off. If he can knock that spot clear off and then draw the game out and control the top left and 3 o'clock, he can win.
Yeah, that's perfectly said. He really wants to remix and try and take this position now, and it looks like his fallback plan, this Overseer, if you look at the mini-map at the south part of the Terran base, DRG actually has a Nidus behind this.
Dude,
so he's going to be attacking here in the mid. The unsiege. Siege tanks are going down. The ghosts are cutting back. The planetary is not done. So DRG is actually cleaning this up. And in the meantime, that Nidus is going to be popping in the main, I think.
Wait, does he have an Overlord hidden somewhere?
He had an Overseer in the main base of Dream. We actually didn't get a shot of it on the Observer, so I'm not sure if there's a changeling there, but potentially just got taken down. Critically, the siege tank count did get reset there for Dream, but unfortunately for DRG, he ran out of bank, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to stop that 5th base. And for a second, I was really excited to see a potential Nidus in the main base there of Dream, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's the part. He's trying again. He's trying again. This is the second Overseer coming in now.
All right, is Terran reacting? It's too quiet.
It's very quiet.
I think he literally doesn't know. Oh, he knows.
Okay, he knows.
Oh, gamers. So he's going to kill that literally in the last possible second.
It's unfortunate, too, because if that first Overseer that had gone in was able to get the Nidus off during that engagement at the 5th base, I feel like there's a lot of potential, but okay, here we go.
Hold up here. I mean, this may be enough to actually crack this wide open. I would have liked to see something attack here on the left side than having to wrap around.
No. DRG's running out of steam. He has no bank left. He's at 160 supply, and he's slowly mining out these bases. He hasn't been able to secure an extra base, but
you know what?
Yeah. So right now, Dream is going to try and repair the CC.
You know what? I just like die of my COVID symptom cough.
Yeah, continue.
I was going to say, let's see how mined out everything is, because even this base, the minerals are starting to get low. How many minerals are at 12 o'clock?
Not too many, I think. But
because Zerg does have the top left. I said in theory Zerg shouldn't be able to take that, but Terran has made no effort to take that base either.
Yeah, the pressure on the right side of the map has been really heavy here for Dream. He's had to commit a lot of resources over there, so he hasn't been able to deny that top left base, as you said. But the more that I'm watching this, again, like, the bank isn't there for Dream. DRG really needs to make something happen. And there's 2 planetary fortresses here. That's so many Banelings to kill. And usually when you see Banelings coming in on planetaries, it's the kind of move that is good when the Zerg is ahead on eco and they have a bank to remax in. And it's bad when they're low on eco in this kind of situation, because even if he's able to break those down, there's more CCs up for Dream. And the army is still going to be there, and the ghost count is going to continue growing higher. We even have Thors now in production here for Dream as he's beginning to build his super composition.
Well, okay, so he's going to try to push up here, but keep in mind this should cause an imbalance in defense at 3 o'clock. I got to say, I really didn't appreciate on this map how good this tank spot is on the right side of the screen on the high ground.
It's a good one.
But, again, it's shortly here. The only base Terran is going to have is 3 o'clock. So if he can draw attention up there and then flood it like this.
Yeah, this is a great engagement coming in by DRG. Blinding Clouds on the first bio ball, but the ghost count on the north side is so high. The planetaries at 3 o'clock just shut down all of the Lings and Banelings. Even Snipes coming in now, and that's going to be it. Dream takes game number 2, and we're going to go to a final match here in Group B.
Hell yes, we're moving on to the last game of Group B with Dream and DRG. Dream kind of folded back into what I think is kind of standard meta play, which is, exhaust play, where you stay back and basically make the game the Zerg's problem to end. Instead of, the traditional sense of Terran has to push and stop the Zerg, you let the Zerg grow and you basically seal yourself off and force them to trade inefficiently, and he did. DRG, I think, played a pretty marvelous game regardless by, trying to take that upper left base. He had very bad attacks. The last 3 attacks on 3 o'clock were terrible. He could have come from 2 different angles. Instead, he had units wrapping around this, low ground to high ground area.
Running into the planetaries. Yeah. There were 2 of them even, which is just brutal there for DRG. And I think it all goes back to that botched engagement at, I believe, the 3rd base for Dream.
Yeah.
So DRG, if he's going to win this, he's going to have to take better fights. Here we go. We're map number 3 on Stargazers.
That's a map named after us. Let's go.
Oh, my God.
Actually, that's the viewers. We're star talkers. That's what we are.
Never change, Tasteless.
Good Game Gaming. Dream. Team NV, DRG.
Because we wouldn't be star talking, we'd be star babblers.
Yeah, sometimes.
So on some of these maps that are shaped like this, I always just see a face in the middle of the map. Do you see surprised clown face in the middle of the map?
Surprised clown. I've heard a lot of faces. I haven't heard of surprised clown face.
Surprised. Well, there also could be frowny. I guess frowny. I don't know if you're too young to know that TV show Alf, but there is a frowning elf on the map face. So
I'm familiar with Alf. I don't recognize the face.
Surprised clown face is if the mouth is that little hole in the middle.
The starfish.
The star in the middle. That's its mouth, and then the nose is just above it, that dark area. And then he's got his clown eyes and his makeup on his cheeks.
Last night I was brushing up on my TVZ. We have a CC first, by the way, but last night I was brushing up on my TVZ.
I'm like, hey, quit messing around. We're talking about important stuff here, State.
I was brushing up on my TVZ, and I was watching, I think, Rotterdam and DeMuslim casting a Reynor game against, I can't recall if it was Dream or one of these other Terrans, but DeMuslim marked that he saw a cat face at 12 o'clock. Like the minerals at the pocket bases are like the eyes, and then like right below the Xel'Naga Tower, like the Xel'Naga Tower is the nose, and right below that's the mouth is the rocks. It's hard to tell because of the Overlord.
No.
Yeah, Rotterdam was not having it.
No, he has brain damage. That's completely wrong. I see clown face. I see clown face maybe with a Buddha eye in the middle of his eye, above his nose. But I also see frowny elf face. I see the two top mineral patches in between the mains as sad alien eyes, and then you look all the way to the bottom. You see the frown.
Oh, the frown.
Face.
Yeah. Now that you point out the frown, I'm seeing it a little bit.
It's like, what's wrong, Alf? And he tells you that he found out Reynor got knocked out of the GSL. It's like, oh, Alf.
Every cast that you see, like whenever these maps come out, like people always talk about this kind of stuff, and it reminds me of like, you know, those like psychology paintings of like just like a bunch of blobs. It's like, what do you see in this image?
Yeah, it's a Rorschach test.
I want to see.
That's a Rorschach test.
I want to see.
I'm like, I see my dad hitting me, and just the whole cast stops. Like, oh, Nick.
She gets. I'm sure one of our viewers is psychologists. Go break down like what everyone's seeing. And
well, I think the real breakdown was that those turned out to not really mean anything. I think those were like psych tests they gave in like was it like the 50s or something like that?
Something like that. Surprised you know what you're called, man. Or what they're called.
Yeah,
you're an
I'm an esports caster. I got to know all these words, man.
Educated gamer. I can't even pronounce stymie.
It's okay. It's okay. You're learning. You're growing.
All right. So CC first here for Dream, and
well, it's triple CC, right?
Yeah, CC first and a triple CC. So he's playing about as greedy as you can get, and the casters I think are pointing out that there is a potential Nidus spot.
Yeah.
If DRG decides to go for that, he did attempt that in the previous game to not a lot of success, to put it lightly, against Dream. But we'll see if he decides to go that way. For now, both players just kind of powering up. As this is about as passive as a TBZ is going to go. Yeah, well, I mean, it has to. This is kind of like the last game, except that you have a base you can take with that third right away. I don't know if Zerg's going to try to run up there and take it. The map is designed so that there's minerals you could take out and then run in there and do something. Although I don't know if we're going to see anything of that in the round of 24 yet. Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I do like that kind of map design where like the mineral count I think is high enough that your opponent can't really mine it out. Like they'd have to send like, it'd be too many trips with workers, but yeah, you can mine it out yourself to open that pathway, and that's, I don't know, that's kind of cool. I like the way that maps have been going in StarCraft 2, especially the past couple of years. It's fun. Actually, with some of these mineral things, that was some older ideas that were used in some of the Brood War maps that I'm glad they put in here. I think, StarCraft 2 is now old enough. We really can get very creative with maps. Map makers in this game are really top-notch. Like, absolutely. This is maybe one of the best RTS map-making communities of all time, if not the best. Sure. Like, it's if not the best. Look at this. It's beautiful. This Overlord is getting destroyed by this Viking, but look at these trees, man. Look at these purple trees, man. There's an area in Elden Ring that looks just like this, man. Maybe it's the same place. Did you play that yet, by the way? Oh, yeah, I beat that game. Oh, I was doing speedruns. I was doing zip speedruns.
Damn,
just for
dude.
fun.
You
I'm
were
not,
doing
like,
zip speed
yeah,
runs?
you don't know about zipping? You like do
No.
this little dance with your sword, and your character like breaks physics and teleports like.
Oh,
many...
I do know
yeah,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay, I thought you just like didn't know how to say like speed runs that
No,
end the game fast.
no,
I was like, I know what,
no.
it's like that's redundant. I know what a speed run is. You're like, I do speed runs where I try to beat the game as fast as possible.
I zip.
I didn't know. Okay.
No, yeah, I'm a Souls gamer. I love those games.
Yeah, dude.
And just like any good RTS pro gamer, I love to try and like just break
Yeah,
games.
that's
Like,
right.
It's so much
Yeah,
fun.
it's just so
like
true.
zipping is just like, yeah, this is it. This is what I want.
This is the way.
All right, players continuing to power up. Dream now adding to his racks count. And what I'm curious to see is exactly how many siege tanks he's going to have, because looking at the middle, we haven't seen, or at least I personally haven't seen too many TVZs on Stargazers just yet, but this seems quite open. And the way that the expansions go here for the Zerg, hugging the right side, I don't see a clear pathway for Terran to really push across the map and siege any of these expansions.
Yeah. You know what, man? I think this game could be a lot like the last one. I mean, it just seems like all the pieces are being put together on both sides to basically make this a pretty long, dramatic game. Because Terran got the third easily, hasn't pushed yet, will probably take a fourth pretty quick. By the way, there's a drop inbound here up towards 12.
Yeah, drop coming in now. Looks like DRG is aware of this, actually going Spire as well. So it seems like his plan is going to be to try and shut this down.
Yeah,
and
he's going Wrecking Ball Zerg here. He wants to basically have an army that can fight. He can exchange Banelings and Lings, but especially the Banes for Terran units, and then keep the mutas around, and then decide, do I push it further, do I harass somewhere else, or do I pull back?
Well said, and actually a nice pickup right here, getting one queen down, a little bit of creep, two queens actually. Bam, this is being bubbled a little bit here by DRG. That's a lot of queens going down. Those Lings were woefully out of position, and Dream just picks up. That was so much damage.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
You never want to lose queens like that early. I mean, the creep spread for DRG is still fantastic, but that must have been like 3 or 4 queens going down in addition to the Lings, and a Dream with a big win right there in the mid game.
Okay, we've got another attack coming down here in the bottom right. This is not going to do anything, though.
I'm just going to pick up and get out of there. That one Marine barely not able to get in the medevac.
Unlucky Marine.
Unlucky.
Terran's got the fourth, but Zerg will be sizing up the Terran's position to see if he can punt that fourth CC back up onto the high ground, or even better yet, kill it off entirely.
Yeah, and DRG going up to 8 gases on the Mutalisks right now, and his word count, usually when you go for this kind of Wrecking Ball style with Zerg, you want to be trading units out a lot and potentially going up to maybe even 100 drones. Reynor's one Zerg, for example, that we see do a lot when he goes for this kind of style, but we'll see what DRG is able to make happen right now with 85. The mutant count might be a little bit lower than we're used to seeing because of that, but it certainly is enough to deal with medevacs like these ones.
Okay, good cleanup here. Now, this is the kind of exchange DRG wants to have, where Terran comes at you, and he doesn't get to pick up and run away. He doesn't get to pick his fights at all. If you overextend, those mutas eat up your medevac and all the units inside. And we're going to probably see a lot of Banelings hatch shortly here and target whatever area DRG decides he could try to take on, because this is where he has a supply lead. He's got plenty of the map. Terran is basically going to just start the few building blocks to try to seal off the map.
I think you're right about that. You can see Dream in the production tab adding a second factory, adding 2, wait, is that a third factory? My goodness, adding 2 Thors as well, Drilling Claws, a lot of mech upgrades coming in.
He needs to start fighting these mutas. You need Thors in this moment.
He needs Widow Mines as well. I'm really worried about the splash damage count here for Dream, because this amount of Baneling coming in could easily just kind of steamroll the third base, and that looks to be exactly what DRG is gunning for. Here we go.
Dude, that CC placement is so good. And you know what's even better about it? It's not a planetary. Like, they have to attack around it. This is not talked about a lot, but like sometimes in some weird ways, like having buildings that the units don't default attack into is even better. Hold on a second, we've got a huge
engagement coming
attack
in here for DRG as those Banelings get great connections on the Thors. That's going to give these mutas free reigns to pick off the remaining structures over there. And Dream kind of getting reset a little bit there on his army count as DRG is getting once again close to max. I'm sure that production facility, or the production line for him is just popping right now. Yeah, 66 Lings, 6 mutas in production. 666, the mark of the beast.
It's mark of the beast, watch out.
The Devil's
Get
Zerg.
your holy water state.
Hive coming in now for DRG too as he continues to power up. Dream with some nice awareness to kind of take this small lull and aggression out of DRG to kind of clear some of this creep, and he does not want this to be right on his fourth.
Oh, that was a nasty takedown there. Nicely done. Terran is still low up in supply, but dude, the placement, again, I can't get over how good that is. Planetary now done.
Really clogging that area, especially with the Widow Mines right there, right on the entrance, because he knows that like if the units are going to come in, they're really going to, the pathing is really going to have them bunch up right there at the bottom of the planetary, and like those Widow Mines can be real value if they don't get picked off by the mutas. Well, this Viking is woefully outgunned here.
Yeah, well, he's trying to force more Marines to come up, and the Thor's going to come here.
Ooh.
But he's got an attack set up down here at the bottom.
There's a lot of damage coming in. This Ling Baneling count is so high right now for DRG. 68 Lings, 29 Banelings, and if I'm not mistaken, more morphing. Yeah, 13 there on the production tab. See more hatcheries coming down as well. DRG is just consuming this map. 97 drones. Dream's gonna have to keep turtling if he's gonna come out of this one.
Yeah, Dream is gonna have a hard game here ahead of him. Zerg is now taken over 50% of the map here as 6 o'clock has been claimed. And you know what? I might be wrong, but it seems like Zerg could just take the very, very, very bottom left. And I don't feel like Terran has enough of an easy travel to stop that. So we could be in kind of a funny late game. By the way, 3-3 done for Terran. We could be in a very funny late game where maybe Terran can try the exhaust play and actually just dry up and die.
Huh. It could go that way, but again, securing the 5th base already for Dream is going to be really critical. And the thing about these mutas is they're not going to be okay. Never mind. Hold that thought. That's a lot of Banelings. Let's see exactly where this one goes. Keep in mind, DRG right now with a bank of 6,000 resources, he's just going to try and rail his way through this army, but that's a lot of Banelings popping on Thors, and that is not a very cost-efficient trade at all.
And
those
the Thor and the
Thors,
tank live.
those Thors.
Oh, the value.
Ooh, they tanked so much damage. That was insane.
My God.
I'm worried we might be seeing a repeat of last game where DRG just has this incredible tempo in the mid game. He consumes the map, but then is never able to stop Dream from just building this death ball, because right now, ghosts are starting to become a factor. We have 3 factory Widow Mine, Thor, Hellbat in production with +3 vehicle weapons along the way. Building armor is getting researched. 5 more command centers in production.
Yeah.
Dream is putting all of the pieces together to have a defense that is almost impossible to break. And the way that DRG's attacks have been going, they have not been cost efficient. All this resources he's mining, keep in mind 92 drones.
Yeah.
He's gonna be running out of res on those back bases much faster than the Terran.
Well, I think we're going to be going back and thinking about that attack that did not do at all what it needed to do a lot.
It's reminiscent of the last game. Remember the attack at the 3rd base there of Dream? This time it was on the Thor. And
here we go again.
These Banelings, they will be able to get damage in. That's a tank going down.
Dude, they're not getting the targets.
They're not getting any damage in.
Dude, that was terrible for DRG.
I thought he would be able to
literally killed like a Widow Mine and 2 buildings.
I thought he would be able to wipe a sizable amount of army with that. And I was going to say, like, that's not enough. That's not a good trade.
Of gas. That was insane, man.
The banks are almost equal now.
And now these mutas are just not even going to trade that nicely into these turrets. I mean, I'm not even sure what I'm watching here.
And he's continuing to add to the muta count. DRG thinks that this is the play to get in, but we keep seeing him just run this Ling Baneling army into the defenses of Dream, and he's never able to break. And the Mutalist at the same time, there's so much splash damage out for Dream. He has Thors, he has Widow Mines, he's adding Ghosts, which do great damage. It can also snipe the Mutas as they retreat away. It feels like none of the pieces of the army that DRG is building have any chance of breaking the defenses of Dream, and Dream knows it. He's confident enough to go for a 6th base now.
I mean, for how long this game has gone on, I feel like the army that DRG's working with is a bit passé, right? Like this is, I don't feel like this is going to be effective. Even like this, like you're going to trade mutas that cost gas into turrets. Now, I mean, Terran's not going to lose his spot, but let's even pretend Terran did. That's almost mined out.
All right. These are
Banes
much better
connecting
hits
onto
than we got
Thors.
before.
No, they're terrible though. Look at the Thor on the right. Oh my god.
He reset the ghost count. There's actually, we just missed the unit tab, but I was going to say that was a lot of ghosts going down. Annie is going to kill this CC, which will slow down the mining there for Dream. So as far as the attacks have gone for DRG, that one wasn't perfect, but it was way better than we've seen from him so far. Oh, this Thor micro.
Oh. Oh. That was brutal. Again, we're watching these armies crash in here, but the reality is Dream is not really losing any positions. Even that CC at the top that was killed, he's going to have one of his extra CCs.
If
Just
he's
float
able,
there and continue to soak it up.
yeah. If he's able to secure this 6 space safely, I feel like that's just going to be game, unless there's some huge misplay by Dream.
Yeah, well, Dream, he's got a setup over here. It's not perfect. If he made like one more planetary, maybe it would be. But, again, guys, I mean, this sounds obvious, but it's important to point out, like, the Banelings, they have to blow up to get value. Terran can repair this stuff. They can heal. They can run back. The exhaust play seems to be working. Now, I don't think we've really checked the minerals at each of the bases here. I'm trying to judge by looking at the mini-map, but the upper right quadrant of bases, that's going to mine out in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
I think you're right about that. I'm actually surprised there hasn't been a Widow Mine or a Thor just parked here permanently at that top base. It's been like just a sticking point for Dream that he has to keep pulling units to defend this, and he keeps losing turrets. But the Nidus is actually going to go up. These mutas are going to secure the Nidus. Thors are going to be able to push that back. Got a little bit ahead of myself there. I was excited.
Yeah. Well, he should be able to blow up the planetary. But what stops Terran from just coming down and building another one? I mean, every fight we're seeing, Zerg is giving up huge amounts of units, and Terran is certainly mining it enough from the base already to remake whatever they didn't have there. Now, the Nidus is a pretty cute idea. I kind of like that. I think it's probably the most inappropriate time to try to do it.
To DRG's credit, though, his play has really tightened up in the last couple of minutes.
It certainly has, but...
the ghost count for Dream is really low as well. I think he's still on single digits ever since that attack at the bottom left base.
Well, he's going to need some more, but he's also been really focused on getting Thors because the mutas have not stopped. I do feel like we should have gone to a higher tech at some point in time here.
Yeah, DRG...
It's like Ling Muta, like the whole game. Like, this is usually how you like beat a Terran that keeps attacking you, but we don't normally see Ling Muta Bane used to like against a Terran that's turtling.
There still is a window for this to work, but it's closing quickly.
I agree.
Ooh, it's painful. We'll eventually be able to clean up the Widow Mines, though. Let's see if this push is going to be able to make something happen. DRG instead opting to back out. You see the resources lost there. I think 6,000 more resources lost for DRG. It's a lot of res. He hasn't really been efficient, but that's kind of the hand that you have to deal with is Zerg.
I'm just not even sure what these Niduses are doing. Like, there's stuff here. So he's going to try to take this. Again, though, I think Terran can push in. Ghosts are beginning to accumulate in higher numbers. So many more Banes have been made, man. It's crazy. 16 more inbound as well. But he's going to start to basically turtle into that bottom left area. I mean, the issue when you do these big A moves is, or at least the issue this game has been, is that the Banes will crash into planetaries and Thors. And that's just the worst. That you're not getting the value that way. You want to be hitting Marines.
That said, this is a lot of Banelings coming in here on this bottom. He gets good connections. There haven't been too many so far today. Here we go, magic boxing on the Thors. Banelings coming in now. A lot of them still alive. He's going to chase down the Ghosts. That's a lot of Ghosts going down. DRG getting some huge damage in. He really needed a win, and he finally got one. He's going to be able to continue to deny this 6 space.
We're back in this. We're back in this game.
DRG has really tightened up his play in the last 5 minutes. I mean,
that was impressive.
This bottom left base, Dream can't make anything happen here. Both times he's tried to take it, his ghost count has gotten completely reset, and DRG has turned what seemed like kind of him running into a brick wall over and over and over and failing to get anything out of it into a success, because now he still has a bank and he is maxed. He can take one more inefficient trade, reset the strategic unit count for Dream, remax, and potentially just wipe him. There is an avenue to a win right now for DRG, and for Dream, it feels like he is now on the back, but he has never been able to get that ghost count up.
Yeah, it's funny. You're totally right, State. It's like he needs to get these key core units up to trade effectively. The muta count has become absurd, by the way.
34 mutas.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, I mean, that one shot's everything.
And the splash damage for Dream just also keeps getting reset. It's not just the Ghost, it's the Widow Mines, it's the Thors. There's only one Thor up for Dream, 7 Widow Mines, and a lot of those are the North bases. These Niduses have been comical, but...
But this is kind of what you need to do against this turtley Terran play. Now he comes up again. He hits. There's a lot of Widow Mines burrowed here. Widow Mines good against mutas as well as Banes. And he's basically looking for any opening. He wants tanks to unsiege. He wants to kind of thin this out.
This is a good opening right now.
Dude, once the tank count starts to fall, it's going to be just Bio basically trying to kite.
I think DRG is doing this, man.
Yeah, Terran is starting to really limp through the game. You know, if Terran was still maxing out and staying even, but when you see 100 supply difference, and look at it, what, 400 minerals are coming in at a time? That's nothing.
Yeah, that 6th base. Dream has never been able to get it up.
Yeah.
DRG had all of these bad fights trying to break through these other positions when finally he decided to go for more of a soft contain option and stop that 6th base. Everything turned around and he's found so much damage.
We see so many Zergs lose against this, but notice that Dream is dropping mules almost exclusively in the bottom left. He needs to try to get the minerals into his bank. And even if he loses that base, don't give that to the Zerg.
All right, another engagement coming in now. And these mutas are in such a number that they're almost able to, they take down that planetary before the Marines get there. So much damage coming in now by these mutas, and there's almost no splash defense. Just, okay, more Widow Mines coming in now for Dream, but let's see if that's going to be enough. The Banelings are rolling in. Mutas taking down another CC. This might be it, man. Dream is on his last legs.
Oh, he's trying to kite.
DRG, I think he's done it.
I think he's done it. He can actually run up and kill all the barracks.
Wow, what a turnaround from DRG in this game, man. Really swinging the momentum, making this Baneling muta composition work to perfection.
I mean, this is pretty insane, man. He's done so much damage over here. Morlings are going to come down now. And you know what? Taking out the infrastructure is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, there's no more production.
There. Yeah, he just basically, Dream overcommitted to the bottom left, but honestly, he was just starting to get thinned out. And we're seeing a 23-minute game that was started and ended with Ling Muta Bane.
Man, DRG just playing
out
of his mind.
Look, he's laughing right now. He's like, I can't believe I actually did this.
These last 10 minutes from DRG have been absolutely clutch. He's made almost no mistakes.
GG.
Man, what a win there by DRG. Dream had some immaculate defense there early on, but DRG finally able to clutch it out, denying that 6th base, resetting the Thor count, resetting the Ghost count, killing all the tanks. Just fantastic play. He deserves to advance from this group, man.
Hell yeah, he does. And man, I gotta say, what a dramatic day here for Group B. I can't believe Dream lost like that. I think DRG can't believe he won like that. Sad that Reynor got knocked out, but man, the play we're seeing overall here today, I kind of get it.
Yeah, DRG's got to feel good about that victory. I can't wait to hear what he has to say in this interview. Just a really spectacular day of StarCraft, man. These have been some fun TBZs.
It was a good day at GSL, man. We're going to go to an interview now with DRG, see how he's feeling, and then we're going to be closing out the show, guys. That interview ready right now. Take it away, Andy.
Wow, what a neck-and-neck match that was. DRG makes it out of the group of death, and he moves on to round of 10. Congratulations. Thank you. Well, it's been a hard day today for you, DRG, and a lot of the fans had high hopes for this match. So this is your third consecutive advancement to the round 10. How do you feel? Well, when I saw the group, I was really scared of the tier 4 bomb, which is Reynor in my group. The first match, I didn't think I would lose to Dream in the first match. So I was mentally broken down.
그렇게 생각했는데 올라가서 더 기쁜
But
것
I'm really happy to have advanced today.
맹렬했었다. 사실 박소 선수가 가는 조마다
So DRG,
폭탄급의 그런 사티어가
every group you go to, there has always been a tier 4 bump. It's been Hero last time, it's Reynor this time. So I think that's why you're performing so good in the round 20. So I'm sure you had a lot of pressure coming into this Group B match. I mean, Reynor was definitely considered one of the favorites to win the GSL, but you took him down today. So I want to hear how you feel about taking him down.
사실 저그전을 크게 준비를 안 했어요.
Well, you know, I didn't really prepare for the ZVZ match.
레이너 선수가 1등으로 올라갈 것 같아가지고.
I actually had a feeling that Reynor would have made it out in first place. I mean, I played a few ZVZ in the ladder, and it was not bad. It was doable. So I knew that as long as I strategize a little bit in the ZVZ, I should be able to win. So you're saying that you didn't really practice ZVZ matches in particular. And DRG, we've seen you putting on the serious faces a couple of times today. And as a GSL veteran, you showed magnificent performance and very good strategies. So what went through your mind during break time?
뭐 빌드가 뭐 크게 상관이 없을 수도 있는데 아무래도 GSL 무대.
You know, my builds might have not been too instrumental today, but as it's a BO3 in GSL, I do feel like strategizing is very important when it comes to GSL.
바디 수 중에 어떤 걸 꺼내야.
So I thought of a few strategies and then I pondered which strategy I can use to get the best outcome today. So DRG, it has been a very serious Roche fight with Reynor, and then you showed spectacular micro against him to take the win. And then you're shaking the main base with like 4 roaches, and that was very instrumental to the outcome as well. So when did you have certainty that you won the Roche fight?
승리의 확신이라기보다 1경기에서
Well, I didn't really notice certain timing.
상황이 좀 이상하게 꼬이긴 했지만 바퀴 싸움을 갔는데
So I went for the Roach fight, and then he was very great with his movement.
뭐 딱히 막 압도당했다는 느낌보다는.
But after losing in the Roach fight, I didn't feel like I was overwhelmed, overpowered. So in the third game, I went for the Roach fight again, and this time I won. I had the upper hand, and then I was able to win the best of 3. Right, we have a lot to talk about Dream. In the final match, we were able to get your revenge against him. In the first game, the Terran showed how strong he was with that Liberator as well, and it almost seemed impossible to defend against. So how did it feel to take your revenge against him in the final match? Well, I didn't think he would opt for the same strategy. I thought he would go for the same different build. So it was not a satisfactory performance from me. I think I played a little bit too passive. And then, you know, I wanted to go for a proxy, a hatchery, and then that got scouted by Dream's SUV. So things got kind of twisted in the game. I mean, DRG, we know that you're an expert at using Mutalisk, but the Mutalisk and the Link Bane was so amazing to watch in the last game. And you maintained the same strategy, the same build until the very end, and you were able to take him down. And then maybe you thought it was better to just opt for the same build until the end rather than just ambiguously changing midway. Yes, I mean, I opted for the same strategy because a few things like the route between my base and his base being too long, etc. I mean, there were some mistakes I made during the fights. It could have been a fight that I could have easily won, but then I made mistakes which led to a longer game, which led to the prolongment.
자, 다른 얘기도 해보겠습니다.
Let's talk about something else.
자, 지난 시즌 계속 6강 연속으로 6강을 했기 때문에
So last season you went to the round of 6, and the season before also round of 6, and you said that you want to gain your seed this season. And with the performance you showed tonight, defeating Dream, defeating Reynor, I have a feeling that you can offer, you can set your eyes on a higher objective this season. How do you feel? Well, I do have a feeling I can maybe make it to round of 4 even further. And this season I have a lot on the line. So since I've been placed 6th last season, placed 5th last season, I want to reach a higher place. And DRG, you showed that you can defeat the difficult opponents like the likes of Dream and Reynor today. So anything else you want to say before you go? I want to thank my team for supporting me, and I want to thank Creator, Maru for helping me with the scrims.
오늘 좀 조가 많이 힘들어가지고.
I mean, today
처음에 중혁이한테 져가지고 좀 많이 꼬이긴 했는데.
the games were hard today.
올라갔으니까 또 10강.
But at the end of the day, I made it to round of 10. I mean, I'm confident in the round of 10. I don't think I have the confidence to lose in a 5-player group. So I'm gonna try to. I'll see you in the round of 10. DRG, congratulations on your advancement. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. What a dramatic day, dude.
Really was.
What a way to close it out, too. So, sadly, I think for all the people watching the stream, Reynor is the first to be eliminated.
Yeah.
Dream the second, but Bunny and DRG go on. DRG, kind of the wild card of the whole group. He was not really a guy I was thinking about that much coming into today.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But he has historically kind of been that wild card. I mean, sometimes he plays and he just plays out of his mind. Sometimes he plays and it's like, ah, well, you're a little bit out of shape right now.
Yeah.
He's one of those veterans that when he catches momentum, he can play really well, and that's certainly what he did here in the last 2 matches.
He's able to really make stuff work inside the game. I mean, even the way that game ended, like, that's not, I think, how everybody's supposed to try to end late game.
Yeah, it's
ZVT,
a little...
like, it's a little bit weird to see just Baines crash in over and over again, but then eventually he just gets enough to get into the main. But a win is a win. Anyways, guys, we've got Maru Classic, Gumiho, and Zhaon coming to you on Monday evening. So no Zergs allowed.
No Zergs allowed.
None of your Banelings and Mutas. You could try Zergs, but you won't get in. Group C should be fun, though.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Maru and Classic, 2 of my favorite players to watch.
Oh,
Gumiho always brings something new to the table, and Zhaon, I mean, he's been an up-and-coming Protoss for, it feels like, years. I feel like, you know, he's got the chance to make it and knock one of these favorites out.
It's a hard group to call who gets out. I mean, I guess Maru is a safe bet, but I mean, the other 3, I don't know what to expect, man. Gumiho being back, Classic being back, that's always, you know, welcome and exciting. So, yeah.
Fun day of StarCraft,
Fun day, minus the Reynor losing part. But, you know, it's kind of like Game of Thrones or something, where, you know, we didn't see that coming. And
any character can die.
Our favorite characters got killed off. We do hope Reynor comes back again. This is, right now, the big twist of this GSL is easily one of the best players in the whole world, outside of Korea, promptly eliminated 1-2-1-2.
Yeah, a lot of people, us included, were expecting him not only to get out of this group, but to get out of it in first. So yeah, maybe just not the best day out of Reynor. I mean, we know that he's capable of better than this. This guy is one of the best in the world for a reason, and this is certainly not the last we're going to be seeing of him.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in the GSL either. I would love to get this guy next year in GSL or in a super tournament.
Super tournament. But we got to wait. We got a whole GSL to get through. This is just day 2. Before we close out the show, I want to remind everybody that there's actually more StarCraft on this channel to watch. ASL Group C is out. I think Group D should be out tomorrow. And ENF are already recorded, so, I mean, they're going to be coming very soon. We will have the group selections translated and put out for ASL as well, as that is going on adjacent to this tournament, too. So don't turn off your computer. Don't go to sleep yet. There's a whole other show to watch. But for GSL Group B, that's all the time we have. Guys, we love you. Stay safe, and we will see you on Monday for Group C. Bye-bye.
GSL Season 3.